Going to drill into my demo here real quick just to show you guys what the software is and give you guys a quick feel of what we have going on here. And this is on our site at any time. So you guys, this is a living, breathing demo. You can actually log in to here anytime. You go to our homepage, www.connectbooster.com, go to the demo tab, click into demo. And this is exactly what you would see with your brand, you know, everything, what your customers are going to see logging into. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in to the customer interface, what your customers would see for the first time. The other side of this software is the administration side. This is for you internally as our Connect Booster customer to manage all of the stuff that I'm going to show you here on the user interface, what you're going to give your customer access to. You're going to have access to be able to do this stuff too through the admin side. And so we have a fair amount of customers where their clients don't even go out to the customer-facing portal. The level of automation that we provide internally, especially with the recurring billing and the intelligence of the recurring billing, they can implement it day one without even having to roll it out to their customers and see a phenomenal ROI. Because number one, they're being paid on time. Our average customer before Connect Booster, and I can show you guys some crazy stats here, was being paid 48 days beyond the term of their invoices after it was due. Our average customer after a year, we pulled our first 50 customers after a year. Our first 50 customers reduced that number down to 1.4 days beyond the invoice date. A lot of it has to do with the recurring billing. But here's exactly what you guys are going to, your customers are going to be able to see. So you've got your logo. This is all going to be branded towards you. In the upper left-hand corner, you've got these 4 hot buttons. We have a quick summary. This is pulling right from ConnectWise, all of this information. This is actually a demo company in a sandbox ConnectWise, living right here on the server, so we have access to it. It's pulling right off of this ConnectWise. Here's a demo QuickBooks file, so I'm going to literally show you guys the automation in action here. Demo owner, it's pulling right from the contact record underneath the company inside of the PSA side. You have a quick summary here, so your customer is going to see what they owe you. Open invoices, how many of invoices are open to comprise or make that total up there. If there are any past due invoices, we track that. We'll show the appropriate dollar amount. And open service tickets. And one question that you guys might have is service tickets. You know, our real focus is to automate your process of getting paid. But we also do some other cool things with ConnectWise, and this is all configurable. We have certain customers that want to use the ConnectWise customer portal because, hey, it works and it's good. And again, our core focus is payments. So we just turn this off. We just send out our URL link or your URL link on the email template. They click on that, they go in and they pay their bills. But now they open all their tickets inside the ConnectWise customer portal like normal. We had demand from our customers that they wanted a one-stop shop, so we integrated to the service boards, hence the service ticket integration. Again, if you want to use this as a one-stop shop, we turn this on, works seamlessly. If you don't need it because your customers are going somewhere else, let's not change their behavior. Let's just turn this off and keep it very, very simple for your customers. Okay. This is also a great area here. We intentionally left a large piece of real estate for you guys to advertise to your customer base. In the admin side, you guys can put text in here, images. It's very easy. We have a nice little tool inside the admin section, also here on the left-hand toolbar, where you guys can upload, flash, whatever you want to communicate with your customer base. Because the one thing I found is I realized my customers weren't always going out to my website to look for cool new things that I was doing, and all of a sudden they have a phone system from someone else because they didn't realize that I did that. You know, the sale was lost inside of the process. Well, now I know they're coming here all the time, so it's a great way to communicate with your customer, just a little fringe benefit there. But let's drill into pay bills. This is what we're all here to see, okay? Customer goes into pay bills. They're going to see a lineup of all of their invoices that are due, oldest to newest. Can also be toggled up and down. It's going to have the appropriate invoice number, total, balance, pending payment. This means that a payment's actually been made inside our software, but it still needs to sync to QuickBooks. So we flag it for you. Again, the QuickBooks side's all automated. It's really cool. I'm going to show it to you. You can also schedule future payments within this portal and comment on invoice. This is a very easy, non-confrontational way for your customers to communicate with you if they have a question on an invoice. Again, it's all these little pieces that go into reducing the AR on the books. And this is one area where when I used to figure out that my customer had an issue with an invoice, it was because all of a sudden I realized they haven't paid for 60 days, and now I'm picking up the phone and calling them. And they weren't going to call. They just don't do that typically. And so now I'm spending my time. Again, the Connect Booster math doesn't work out at that point. And this is a very non-confrontational way for a customer to comment on an invoice. You tie this to your ConnectWise email connector, opens a ticket in the PSA software, and 9 times out of 10, it's a 5-minute conversation, address the issue, and then, by the way, just push them online to get paid right away because you've made that adjustment and you're taking care of it. Now, when I go back over here to total and balance, notice this discrepancy here. We have a pending payment. This is really, really important. If you guys make a manual payment inside of QuickBooks, outside of our software, no problem. Our communication is a two-way sync. We're not just pushing into QuickBooks. We're actually pulling information out of QuickBooks back into our software. And that's our core integration, because at the end of the day, you really care about the reports inside of QuickBooks over your PSA software. And so the software is designed in such a way that we deem an invoice as real when we see it inside the accounting package. That's when we display it. That being said, the invoice that we're going to show is pulling right through the ConnectWise API. So your customers aren't seeing the QuickBooks invoice. They're seeing the good, nice, pretty invoice that you've emailed them. And what we're doing is we're just verifying. We see that this exists in QuickBooks. We say, okay, it exists in ConnectWise. We opt to show that ConnectWise invoice because it's what was emailed to them. If you guys ever do a one-off invoice inside of QuickBooks, the cool thing is we will also show that. If it doesn't exist in ConnectWise, but it does exist in QuickBooks, we'll actually show a replicated version of that QuickBooks invoice, viewable and payable for your customers. So here's what we want them to do. They click on the top switch, and it'll pay all invoices. That's what we want them to do. But they can also pick a la carte. And so when we go in to pay this invoice 533, it gives us a few choices. If you guys ever need to take a 50% down payment on an invoice for a project invoice, we allow for partial payments. We're going to sync that information over into QuickBooks against invoice 533, and then we're going to show the remaining balance. So when your customer logs in, they're always going to see the appropriate balance on that invoice and never be confused. So, you know, $1,500, for example. Another nice feature is we're not going to allow them to mess up and pay over the amount if they have a miskey. It's going to default back to the invoice amount. And so it will appropriately reconcile that specific invoice. And here's where they can select a payment method. And this alludes to running very secure, very quick transactions. Now, this is not only for your customer, this is very convenient for them. They don't have to redundantly type in all type of payment credentials whenever they log in each and every time. They can pick from a stored payment method. This is also good for you when you're logged in through the admin side and a customer is calling you on the phone and you do a quick lookup for demo company and demo owner and need to accept their payment. You can say, you know, hey, demo owner, would you like to use your MasterCard ending in 3551 or your checking account ending in 3123? Okay, and all of this information, this is not stored inside of Connect Booster. This is locked inside of what's called a customer vault inside of our B&G gateway, our payment gateway. And PCI compliant, level 1 PCI, really what it does is it helps remove you guys from the PCI scope or the liability of holding on to that payment information. So it protects your customer and it protects you as a company. If your customer doesn't have a payment method at that time, they'll be prompted to add a new payment method here on the fly, add a credit card or add an ACH method. So they can easily, on a more traditional type of a gateway or a online payment form, they type in all that information, credit card number, expiration date, address, all that. Once they enter that information, it's actually going to fall into the hopper here, or the drop down, and they'll be able to pick it. And so I'm just going to pick a Connect Booster Test credit card. Customers can also pay in the future with a date picker, just like on your cell phone or credit card bill. Excuse me, need to take a quick drink there. Talk too much. And so they can pick a future date there, and that will automatically trigger on the date that they had selected. Another set it and forget it feature inside of Connect Booster here. Well, let's pay this invoice here. Invoice 533. Okay, once we make this payment, your customer is going to automatically be emailed a payment receipt, and you're going to be notified also that a payment has happened online. And so customer and you are both notified. This immediately flows over into payment history, and so that's trackable, and your customers can see it. You through the admin side are going to be able to see that. A bunch of reports in the admin side. What I really want to show you, since we made a payment on invoice 533, is the actual accounting side of this. So here's invoice 533. Okay, $3,112.50. What this little piece here is, this is the Quickbooks Web Connector. This is the Quickbooks SDK. Okay, the authorized way to communicate back and forth with QuickBooks. We've written our own software piece inside of their SDK. This is the two-way communication sync. And so you're going to notice here that I have this auto running every 60 minutes. Okay, last ran at 12:58 Central Time. It's going to run again at 1:58. And what this little tool is doing is it's looking for what we just did. Okay, it's looking for payments made inside of Connect Booster that we need to reconcile against an invoice, thus completely automating the receipt payment step for you guys. This piece alone has saved Virtual Administrator hundreds of hours over the time that they've used it. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of hours. Talk to Natalie over there. She'll let you know what this is all about and what it's done for. This is also looking for things that have happened inside of the accounting package, new invoices that are inside of the accounting package that we need to display in our portal. This is happening in the single sync process. Looking for payments, looking for new invoices. Heck, it's looking for if you made a $120 payment against this invoice outside of our software manually inside of QuickBooks, so we can sync the appropriate $2,000 balance to your customer, so they're never going to see the wrong information inside of the portal. Very, very important. If you're going to offer online payment, we better make sure that that's correct, or your customer is going to become frustrated. And so, again, this can be tiered down to 30 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever works for you and your business, and that sync's going to run and do that two-way communication. For example's sake, I'm fairly confident you guys aren't going to want to wait till 1:58 on the phone with me for the magic to happen, and so this can be also updated manually. And again, we're going to keep our eye here on invoice 533. I'm going to update selected, and it's going to reconcile this payment for us because we've made a payment online. And about 70% is where you're actually going to see this. I know the suspense is building. We're about to view it. It's boom. There it is. Oh, that sounds like a song title. That must be where I picked that up. Just reconciled invoice, essentially handled, again, the receipt payment step completely automatically for you guys on invoice 533. And where this goes, again, the receipt payment step is automated here into record deposits. And look, here's another payment that we've made inside. That was that scheduled payment. If you guys remember seeing that flag, it hadn't done the QuickBooks sync yet. Okay, we're going to actually run this thing, and we're actually going to see that clear out next time we go into the demo. But this is the manual. This is the check and balance manual part of Connect Booster, which is very, very important. Okay, you have all of this automation going on. Your customers can go online and make payments. You can give multiple people in your company access to the admin side of Connect Booster if you don't want them in your QuickBooks file accepting payments, and they can now accept payments. And this is where you can account. In addition to all the emails that we provide you in the reporting, this is where the rubber meets the road. You see money physically deposited into your bank account from us. This is where you go to say, I have seen this money in my bank account. Click, click, account for those deposits, save and close, update the ledger total. And in addition to being a manual check and balance, so you have your thumb on top of all this automation. Imagine having 10, 15, 200 automated, 500 automated recurring invoices a month. Yeah, it works like that on an automated basis. So not only is it going to trigger when those invoices are due automatically on recurring agreements, but it's going to auto-receive the payments for you guys, making that, completely painless. This is where we want you guys to account for, that $1,000 automated deposit, the $5,000, the $50,000 automated deposit, where you come in and say, yes, I saw that, all sorted out by date, click record deposits, because we don't want to inflate the QuickBooks bank account total over what's actually in your bank account, because that causes trouble. And so check-in balance and best practices, we want you to see the money before you add it in here, and it gives you guys a way to reconcile and keep control over all of the automation that we provide. And so really, really cool, and not only saved us, but our customers tons and tons of time. You see that invoice, it was 533, I believe. It's cleared out. It's not available in here anymore because it's been paid. The pending payment now that the sync is run, we know that this has gone into QuickBooks now. The balance is appropriate. It matches what's in QuickBooks, and now a customer can go in and pay this remaining balance. Maybe we'll just do that quick to clean it up for example's sake. And we'll imagine demo owner called in and he wants to pay with his credit card ending in 1111. Done. I know it's taken care of. That's how quick the transaction could run as far as them not even doing an online payment, them running internally with you as far as on an admin level, your staff, or you running a payment in the admin section of the software. Now, that was really, really cool. We reconciled that invoice automatically. Where the real power comes in, we haven't even talked about the power tool yet, is Autopay and the Autopay module. This is literally pulling from agreements with an agreement type that should be recurring inside of the PSA software, ConnectWise in this example. It's showing what that last invoice amount was. This customer's enabled Autopay for these specific type of agreements. We have all those payment methods that are available. This is where, when that invoice is due, every single month your PSA software is prompting you to create that invoice for that recurring agreement. You get that thing over into QuickBooks, and based on the terms that you have set up in that agreement, due on receipt, net 10, that produces a due date in the accounting package. Okay? On that due date, they're enabled for Autopay, and they have a payment method on file here. It's going to automatically trigger that payment on that due date. Automatically trigger that payment, automatically reconcile the accounting package. This is the silver bullet feature, and this is where our customers are reducing their AR on the books dramatically and improving efficiency internally by implementing this type of billing software. And the beautiful part about it is it's intelligent with your PSA software. If you adjust that agreement inside of ConnectWise, inside of your PSA software, it's going to flow through to the invoice. All we care about is that they're enabled for Autopay. It's an agreement type that's set to recurring, and we have an invoice due. We don't care about the dollar amount. And so that's the intelligence that we were looking for with our recurring billing, where we didn't have to worry about, and if an invoice changed inside of the PSA software, oh man, we need to make sure before the billing kicks off on the 5th in our off.net account, we need to adjust that invoice amount. We need to make sure we're inside of QuickBooks, memorize transactions. We need to make sure that we're adjusting that invoice, and we make sure that the billing software is going to trigger the right payment, or I'm going to have to deal with credits or running another card, second transaction fee. This completely automates that process. And very, very cool. Again, taking control back, just like the large Fortune 500 companies do. And you can set whatever terms you want in your agreement. I'm a big fan of terms. I don't think things need to be due on receipt. You need to give your customer some flexibility there. But if you've agreed on net 30 and you're going to give them as a finance company, because now you're a finance company, you're going to give them net 30 terms, my view is we better dang well get paid on net 30. And I'm going to set it up for automating, because they had 30 days to talk to me about it, and I'm a really flexible guy. I mean, I'm going to work with my customers, but by gosh, I am not waiting 60 or 90 days anymore to get paid, because I did the work, I invoiced them, and I'm not going to allow my math to become 3 anymore when 2 plus 2 should equal 4. It's very, very simple. And this is a tool for pennies on the dollar. You can actually implement this type of technology in your business and take the control back for billing. Allow yourself to get paid. Here's another little module that we actually implemented inside of Autopay because our customers, you guys demanded it out of us. Enable Autopay on all invoices. Now, I just so happen to have a threshold set in the admin side of $3,500. And this is an opt-in program. So this can be turned on or off. But we've had customers request where they say, hey, my customer says, they've given me a card on file. These invoices or these overages up and above my agreement, they said just bill it. Just take care of it. Send me the invoice, but I don't want to have to write a check or deal with calling you guys or dealing with making a payment for it. You're my IT staff. Same as if I had you in-house and I have payroll, I'm going to pay my payroll. This is the same type of situation. So you can actually automate invoices based on a threshold. Any invoice, if you so choose, if that customer picks a payment method. Right now it's none, do not pay, because this specific customer in my portfolio doesn't want to implement that. If we want to implement it, they can pick a payment method, and now it will enable on any invoice under $3,500. You could pick $500 for your customer base, $5,000, any invoice under that amount. If Autopay is enabled, we configure this within the setup with you guys. It can be configured at any time, even after implementation. $3,500 is just our threshold here. Any invoice under $3,500 is going to get paid on the due date that invoice is due in the accounting package. Very, very cool, giving you guys control. Again, we do a lot of things. We show all open invoices, same as paying bills. We actually show invoice history. Your customer calls you. There's all these other things that we do outside of helping you guys automate your payments. Your customer calls you because their accountant wants an invoice from November of 2011, right? I mean, it just happens to me anyway all the time. We're giving them access 24/7, 365 to go out and access that type of information, okay? Again, service tickets, open service tickets, service history. Customers can create a new service ticket tied to boards. If anyone would like a one-on-one, demo, just reach out to me. I'll give you my contact information here at the end. We can go through every nook and cranny of this software if you'd like. But I wanted to hit the main points here. The 4 main points: automating billing, and what Connect Booster was really designed to do. We have all kinds of frosting on top of the cake over the core product. So